The glass shattered before she could even scream. Evelyn Carter, a 63-year-old retired schoolteacher, stood frozen in her living room as the door splintered open. The man she recognized instantly, the same off-duty HOA enforcer who had harassed her for weeks, stormed in, red-faced, fists clenched, shouting words that carried more hate than reason. His name was Officer Paul Danner, and in that moment, Evelyn understood one chilling truth. He wasn't here to talk. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The sound of his boots against the wooden floor echoed through the small house. Evelyn's heart pounded like a trapped bird. "You people never learn," he spat, yanking down a family photo from the wall. Evelyn reached out, trembling. "Please, leave. You have no right." But her plea was cut short by the strike that followed. A sharp pain, the taste of iron, the floor rushing up to meet her. Through blurry vision, she saw the man who called himself the protector of the community standing over her, his face twisted with something far beyond anger. Outside, a neighbor's curtain shifted. Whispers began to spread like wind through dry leaves. The noise, the cruelty. It was all too much for this quiet cul-de-sac. Yet no one dared step in. Not yet. When Officer Danner finally stormed out, Evelyn lay still, clutching the one thing that had survived the assault, a photo of her son, Jordan. A photo of a man who had seen war, who had built his life on discipline and quiet strength. Jordan Carter, Special Forces, deployed overseas and coming home in 2 days. She thought she'd never see him again. She was wrong. The next evening, the neighborhood was unusually still. Porch lights flickered on like watchful eyes. Jordan's truck rolled into the driveway, his presence commanding even before he stepped out. He moved with the calm precision of someone who'd faced danger and survived it. But as soon as he saw his mother's bruised face, that calm began to crack. "Who did this?" he asked softly, his voice low, trembling with restrained fury. Evelyn tried to speak, but tears did instead. She simply handed him a folded HOA violation notice, signed by Paul Danner. Jordan read it once, then again, and the silence that followed was more terrifying than any shout could have been. That night, Jordan walked through the neighborhood. Every motion light turned on as he passed. Whispers rippled from door to door. People knew who the attacker was, but fear had kept them silent. Until now. When he reached Danner's home, the man was sitting on his porch, drink in hand, smirk on his face. "You must be the soldier boy," Danner sneered. "Your mama didn't tell you how things work around here?" Jordan didn't respond. He stood there, posture straight, eyes locked. The same stillness he'd learned in combat, the kind that unnerves bullies because they can't read it. "You broke into her home," Jordan said. "You hit her." "Maybe she should have followed the rules," Danner scoffed, standing now, puffing his chest. "This is my community." Jordan's voice dropped to a whisper. "Not anymore." The sound of car doors followed. Neighbors, people who had stayed silent, were now stepping out, one by one. Phones recording, voices murmuring. And from the end of the street, a squad car turned the corner. Summoned not by Danner, but by Jordan himself. 2 uniformed officers emerged. Their faces were tense. They knew what they were walking into. Jordan handed one of them a small USB drive. "Security footage," he said simply. "From my mother's cameras." "Shows everything." The officer took it, his expression shifting from formality to shock. "We'll take it from here," but Danner wasn't done. "You think you can frame me?" he roared, lunging forward. In one swift movement, Jordan sidestepped, his hand locking Danner's wrist and pinning it behind his back. He didn't strike, didn't shout, just held him there, his voice calm but firm. "You swore to protect, not terrorize," Jordan said. "This isn't war, but you just lost one." The officers cuffed Danner moments later. The crowd erupted, not in cheers, but in a collective sigh. Justice, long delayed, had finally stepped into their street. Evelyn watched from her window, tears glistening under the porch light. When Jordan returned, she whispered, "I didn't want you to come home to this." He smiled faintly, brushing a hand over her bruised cheek. You raised me to stand for what's right, Mom. You already fought your part. The following week, the HOA board dissolved its old leadership. Danner was dismissed, charged, and stripped of his position. And the Carter home, once the target of harassment, became the heart of a new beginning for Ridgewood Estates. Because strength isn't loud. It's the quiet courage that stands up when the world looks away. Because justice doesn't roar. It returns, steady and unbroken, and sometimes the fiercest battles are fought not with rage, but with restraint. If this story moved you, hit subscribe and share your thoughts below. I read every comment, and who knows, your voice might inspire the next story on Cinematic Whispers.